Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC live here on ESPN Plus. I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Shaka Hislop, Frank Leboeuf and Ali Moreno. Lots going on, of course, today. Later on in the show, a bumper preview of that must-win clash for the US as they take on Iran. We'll discuss the rumours of Messi going to Inter Miami, plus strange goings-on at Juventus. We'll break down everything you need to know about the board resigning. We'll kick things off, though. The favourites to win the World Cup. Brazil in action against Switzerland. They made it 2 wins out of 2. It looked like they were going to be frustrated by the Swiss, but in the end, a brilliant goal from Casemiro would prove to be the difference between the two sides. Brazil then make it through to the knockout stages. Switzerland still very much alive in the group. They win on the final day. They will be joining Brazil in the round of 16. I suppose the big question, Ali, going into this was how would Brazil cope without Neymar? What answer did they give us?
Well, the first answer had to be given by Tite and what his reaction was going to be and what his decision was going to be. And I didn't like it.
Paqueta coming in.
Well, Paqueta was playing, but Fred came in. So Fred now is dropping in and playing with Casemiro, and Paqueta sort of playing the role of Neymar. I would have left Paqueta right alongside Casemiro and actually put Rodrigo in the position of Neymar, so Rodrigo has the freedom to do the things that he does so very well. The team changed when Rodrigo came on the field, and Brazil became better when he was on the field. This idea of having to play with two holding midfielders, if you're Brazil, when you're playing against a team in Switzerland that really made no effort whatsoever to attack, Switzerland were simply playing for the draw. Simple as that. That's all they were doing. And Brazil was playing into their hands because now you have two holding midfielders, and Fred doesn't really give you much in the attacking half. The game got better for Brazil, slightly better for Brazil early in the second half. The substitution of Rodrigo made a difference. And then once Brazil just kind of started moving the ball a little bit quicker in the final third, and Switzerland was just kind of hanging on, and there was no threat that they were going to go on the attack. They were never able to get out. It was a matter of time. You would have thought it would have come from Rodrigo, would have come from Vinicius, would have come from Richarlison, but you'll take it if it came from Casemiro, and what a goal it was from him.
It was a goal that just came from nothing, really.
Yeah, but the end was quite exceptional.
Yeah.
Fantastic volley, even if it was a little bit deflected by the defender. I think what Casemiro brought is what you love about midfield players, when they go and carry on and play and score goals to help the strikers maybe a little bit stuck with the defense. I think they deserved it. There was a previous goal been disallowed for almost nothing, Richarlison being offside. But going back to what Neymar can bring to the game, I think he brings the mess in the other side by his attitude maybe, but also because of his football, because he brings the pace that you were talking about, and that we don't have with Paqueta, of course with Fred. But Tite had the right to be wrong at first. I like the fact that he recovered by putting Rodrigo on and Paqueta out, and then the game changed.
Brazil were nowhere near their best today. No, they didn't really have to get out of second gear, yet they still get the win. They're still unbeaten, and they're still through to the next round.
They certainly didn't need to get out of second gear. They didn't need to do an awful lot to get a point out of this, because Ali's right. Switzerland came very disciplined in their approach to pick up a point, understandably, when you come up against a team like Brazil. And in the only time, really, that the Swiss were caught napping, so to speak, in the first half. Vinicius Jr. kind of goes around the blind side, defender doesn't track him, and he doesn't catch the volley as cleanly as and Jan Sommer, who's an outstanding goalkeeper, made easy work of that. My complaint about Brazil, particularly in that first half, and Ali's right, until Rodrigo comes on, is nobody being prepared to play in those little half spaces that Neymar just thrives in. That gives defenders so much to think about. The Swiss were disciplined, Brazil equally so, and it seemed as though Brazil were just happy to play that disciplined game and hope that something happened because they had the better players, and the Swiss were happy just to ride out the 90 minutes and see what happened. Then Rodrigo comes in, and the goal that was disallowed was Richarlison coming from deep into that half spot. Yes, he started off in an offside position. That was the right call. And then when the deadlock broken by Casemiro, again, popping up in a position that not expected to, and as a result, the Swiss didn't know how to adjust. And brilliant finish by him. But that was the biggest miss for me in not having Neymar on the park. somebody just to sit in those half spaces. So the defense are unsure, do they come forward? Midfield unsure, do we drop back? And that allows space for your wingers, who otherwise were brilliant. I have to say, I thought Rafinha was poor today. But gives those players the kind of space that they need, and they thrive it.
I think after 2 games, general consensus, 2 best teams we've seen is France and Brazil. What are you doing?
I'm checking the names of some players, if you don't mind. You know, Brazil against Switzerland. So I want to, well, while you give me the opportunity to cut
You've had all
off,
day. You've had all day to prepare. You have to do it when we're live.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. So can you have some doubts? You don't have any doubts in your life, you know? So you want to make sure.
I've got many doubts.
Just one thing about, we're going to talk about Brazil, but I just want to point the fact that one day we're going to have to admit that Sommer is one of the best goalkeepers in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Because what he does for like the past 2 years, and he's been not mentioned because he doesn't belong to the top team, is, as for me, exceptional.
Yeah.
Just. Well,
Would you prefer to be Brazilian or France or French after what we've seen so far?
In
What
general,
kind of-
or just today?
Yeah, exactly. What a question. I always said that Brazil, for me, were the favorites.
Right.
And I still believe that they are more complete than the French national team, especially because France had some injuries inside the squad. And I still now believe that they're more armed to win that World Cup than the French team. But every game you have to prove that you deserve to win. And I'm going to stay. I'm going to stuck with. I'm going to be. Oh, no, sorry. I'm going to stick to the fact that Brazil can win the World Cup. But I'm sorry, as a French guy, I have to go for my French side.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.